Hey, you're here for another 5-minute live here on my page. We're talking about part 3. This has been a 3-part series, so if you've missed part 1 and 2, go back and look for them on this page. But today we're talking about your sales conversations and the end. This is the end, aka closing the deal. If you're brand new to me, my name is Susan McVeigh. I'm a business sales strategist. I help entrepreneurs and business owners just like you sell with more ease without the sleaze so that you can make money and impact while living your life of freedom and flexibility. This 5-minute live has been a series that I've been doing over the past 2 weeks here on my page. I will be extending it until July 1st because I've just enjoyed it so dang much. So today we're diving a little bit deeper into the end part of the sales conversation. And the reason why I want you to go back and listen to part 1 and 2 is because truthfully, you don't get to this stage every single time you have a sales call or a conversation where you're inviting people to work with you. So here's the thing. Yes, it's important that you ask for the business and that you're inviting people into the opportunity to understand how to work with you. But if you've done part 1 and part 2 properly, then you may find that, depending on the quality of your marketing, that you don't always have to make an offer. And so this is why for me and for you, it's really important that you think about the quality of the individual that you want to work with. I actually had a conversation with somebody today on a call, and he said, you know what, could you maybe help me with my vetting process? Like, I understand that there's a point where I need to leave the door open, but I also don't want everybody coming through the door and wasting my time. So we need to be able to balance that off. And that's the same thing that I want you to consider when you're at the end of the conversation. You need to balance that off with how many people can you actually serve? Is this the right person that you need to extend the offer to? And if it's not, what else do you have available? For those that actually should be working with you, could be working with you, what I want you to understand is if you've done part 1 and 2 and you feel really confident about your process, then the closing part actually is probably the simplest and the easiest. The heavy lifting is done in part 1 and 2. And too often we're focusing on the close. And when we don't get it right with the opening and the middle, your process, then the close feels very heavy-handed. So if you have ever been in a situation where you don't feel listened to, you don't feel heard, you don't feel understood, and then all of a sudden the sales rep is like breathing down your neck, like buy, and it feels like the sell, then the reason why this is happening is because they haven't done step 1 and 2 very well. And that's what I want you to avoid. I want you to understand that the invitation at the end is really a culmination of all the work that you've put in place for part 1 and part 2. And if you have done the right thing for your potential customers and recognize that you don't serve everybody, you also have invited the opportunity to bless and release. That's it's like fishing, catch and release. It's bless and release. That you don't need to work with everybody. You don't need to extend the invitation. However, the ones where you do want to work with them and there's a little bit of resistance, what I want you to understand is there's an opportunity for you to, again, step into the leadership role, because sales is all about leading the conversation, leading the interaction, and to be able to help people to understand what the full transformation looks like. Sometimes the opportunity that you're presenting is super scary. And so it's really, really important that you allow for a safe space to have a frank and honest and transparent conversation about what it looks like to work with you, why it's important, and you connect the dots back to what they just expressed to you during the earlier parts of your conversation. And if you haven't put in the work earlier on, you don't have anything to connect to. And so you're starting over, but you're starting at the end, which really isn't a good place to be. And so that's what I want you to think about today is asking for the business and closing the sale actually happens much earlier on in the conversation. And if you have done a really good job of genuinely serving the person in front of you and getting to the root and the heart of the matter that's super important to them, then, and you know that you can help them, then this is where the opportunity becomes, how do I work with you? How do I learn more about how you can help me and it becomes a natural way to continue the conversation, a natural way to be able to encourage people to get the help that they so desperately just expressed that they're looking for. And so instead of you closing, you're really just inviting, you're really just allowing people to step through the doorway of the next opportunity that ultimately is what they're looking for. Remember, they came to you, hopefully they came to you because you are the person that they're able to see themselves in, and they understand how you can help them. And so if they have sought you out, then you're already in a position of expertise. And so it's really not, you don't need to prove yourself. Otherwise, they wouldn't have reached out to you. And so there's no amount of convincing, cajoling that will replace your ability to lead and guide a decision that's the best thing for you and for them. So I hope this was helpful for you. Please let me know below in the comments if there's an area that you're struggling with, because I use your comments, your feedback, and the messages that you send me in order to create more quick content like this every single day on this page. Again, the series is going to be extended until July 1st. I go deeper and more in depth with one topic every single Wednesday on this page with my live Susan Says. So that's about 10 to 20 minutes, sometimes a little longer, but I try to keep it within that 20-minute mark. So thank you so much for joining me. If you want to stay connected, go ahead and click the button at the top of this page and come and join my free Facebook group. What are you waiting for? I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much, and we will see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.